So what are the technologies that we need in our modern stack to be able to be much more show-oriented marketers rather than tell-oriented marketers? The first is much more demo capabilities. I think there's a really interesting emerging category of technology in product demo software that's meant to live on your website or can even be delivered through email. Products like Novatic or Walnut or Reprise are great demo technologies. In-app messaging becomes a really important channel for marketing and engagement for marketers. This is a technology that allows marketing teams to deliver messages and guidance to users inside the app without relying on engineering resources. So once the customers get into the free trial and they're playing, you can now message them to help them understand what they need to do, where to get help, and what competitive differentiation they should be looking out for as they explore the product on their own. And then the third piece is product to sales connectivity. And this is an umbrella category of tech. There are lots of tools here, but this is around product scoring. So you can understand when you have a PQL that you should be surfacing to the sales team. This takes the place of legacy marketing automation, lead scoring that you might have in a Marketo or a HubSpot. This might be tools like Chili Piper that allow you to deliver lead routing directly to the right salesperson from inside your app. To make sure that the transition from a product exploration to a sales conversation is happening as smooth as possible. So making sure that product to sales connectivity is happening, just like you used to have the marketing to sales connectivity and your marketing automation to CRM. So these are the really what I'd call the three new components of a modern tech stack. Again, not to say that you don't need marketing automation anymore. We at Chameleon don't use marketing automation, but I know many companies that do. But I think a modern tech stack is now built on these tools that allow us to do much more showing and much less telling. So just to wrap up, your marketing and your demand gen strategy really needs to align to your company's go-to-market motion. If you're still sales-led, then maybe the legacy version of generating MQLs and handing those over to sales still works. But if you are now product-led or a combination of product and sales-led and using the two in combination, then you need to be much more show-oriented and much less tell-oriented in your go-to-market strategy. Open it up for questions.
Danny, this is awesome. Thank you so much. And a topic that's very near and dear to our heart as well. If there are questions, as per usual, feel free to write them in the chat. We'll pick them up from there. One thing that I was wondering while listening to your talk track is, besides the tooling part, right, from a functional point of view, sounds like the way you're talking about demand gen, product-oriented demand gen, once upon a time would have been product marketing. So would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that the fuel for demand gen over the last few years was really the content team. And in a lot of B2B marketing organizations, this team was creating ebooks and white papers and other sort of long form assets. And I think now a lot more of the fuel that's going into the demand gen mix in this new product-led approach is actually coming from the product marketing team. It's product demos, it's feature videos, it's more case studies in different formats. And so I think that's a real paradigm shift in how teams think about demand gen and also the content feeding into demand gen and teams that are supplying it.
Yeah, and it's like the one difference that I can think about, like going back to that product marketing comparison, is that, again, once upon a time, product marketing wouldn't have clear KPIs and OKRs with regards to conversion rates and funnel efficiency, and to some degree in this new like demand gen, product-oriented demand gen story that you are advocating for and talking about, they do, right? Because they are part of that funnel. Is that a fair representation?
Yeah, and I think there's a real convergence on goals and KPIs between the product team and the marketing team, because we're now driving product signups rather than driving leads. Mm-hmm. And which team in marketing or sometimes product is that nucleus that connects product and marketing? Well, it's the product marketing team. And so yes, I think product marketers need to sign up for goals around product signups, conversions from product to PQL or to paid plan. And I think they become a much more metric-oriented marketing function, which is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. I'm wondering, like, many companies still think about two parallel paths, right? Like either a product driven go to market or a sales driven type of motion. If you look at their website, on their homepage, they have, sign up for free versus talk to sales. Is that how you guys are thinking about it, or how you think about it? Like, what's the lay of the land there?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that we have decided that we're not going to be entirely product led or entirely sales led. We think that
Right.
there's a mix of both, and part of it is market segment. Mid-market and towards the enterprise tends to want to engage the sales team. The smaller companies tend to want to be a little bit more self-serve.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a whole set of companies that want to do a lot of their product research
Right.
on their own, but they still want the sales team to help with solution design and still need help with security reviews. When technology is going behind the firewall, it's still a complex sale, and sales team and sales engineering teams can still add a lot of value. So we're not looking to replace that. We're looking to really balance the best of both worlds between what product-led can do and what sales-led can add value to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think the most sophisticated marketer dimension people very much think along the same lines, right? Like, instead of being marketing led or product led or sales led and thinking about those things in isolation, it's more around how marketing and product and sales can contribute to the buyer's journey. And it's not as like 1, 2, 3, one before the other, like sequencing type of ideation anymore. It's more like a contribution, parallelization of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I talked about that sort of legacy model of being passing the baton, where marketing had a job and then we pass the baton over to sales and then they run the next leg of the race. Yeah. I think there's a similar conversation going on in attribution as well, where we're not trying to be so didactic and saying, okay, marketing contributed this portion and sales contributed that portion.
This piece and that piece.
Exactly. Yeah. The buying journey in reality, especially with the introduction of going through a free trial or a freemium version, is so much more complex. It's what are we doing as a team together to generate pipeline, generate revenue, and generate lifetime value.
Yeah, and I think you would agree this particularly applies to products or solutions that are not, where user and the buyer are different people, whether it's like a buying committee, right, where you have to have different stakeholders at the table, and then there would be the user trying the product, and then there would be the buyer that would like look for a security review, and then there would be the stakeholder that would want to have some say in the matter. Is that how you think about it as well?
Yeah, I think product-led really is oriented towards that buying situation where the buyer and the user are different people, or the champion and the buyer are different people. And we see a lot of value in people who are going to be hands on keyboard, getting in, seeing value in the product, and then going to champion to someone who's an old decision maker, can say, yes, I'm willing to spend 20, 30, 40K on an annual subscription.
Right. Love it. Danny, thank you so much. If people want to connect further with you, I'm sure you're on LinkedIn. Very easy to connect and further engage. Appreciate you participating in it.